What's up, guys? It's just PC. Gonna talk today about aerial car control and how to get better touches in the air, how to master it, ways to practice it, aerial control basics, aerial touches, control touches, powerful hits, and air dribbles. It's gonna be a little bit of a longer video since we're covering all of that, but I'm gonna try to minimize it as much as I can. And yeah, I'll go over some training packs and stuff that you can use as well to kind of improve this stuff. Some of you might figure this stuff out pretty easy right away. Others, it's going to take time. It is a process to learn the things in this game, so it's going to take some getting used to for some of you. Others, you may pick it up really quickly, just get the hang of it and be really good at it pretty early on, but for most people, it will take a lot of time. Also, I do personal coaching now, personal private coaching. I do replay reviews and mechanics training specific to you. To your play style. I'll give you like training routines and things that you can work on, just either based on watching your replay review or just seeing what mechanics you are capable of doing. And yeah, I can I do that. So the link's in the description. Check it out if you're interested. And I hope this video helps. First things first. I want to talk about the aerial control basics, and actually I'm going to hop on over to a different map for this one. And the reason being is I want to showcase this for you console players. This will make it a lot easier. So you want to go to the pillars map. This is really, really good for learning the air control basics, which is what we'll cover first. You want to learn, I would say, at least one directional air roll. You definitely can learn free air roll and use that because it is helpful to know how to do that. I don't actually have it even bound right now because I use only directional arrow left and right, arrow left, sorry, and then arrow right. It's just overall better to use those because there's so much more you can do. And that's what I'm going to cover in this video. But if you do want to learn like free air roll, I would say it is important to learn if you only have one directional air roll bound. I would learn how to do it, for like other movements, if you only have one bound. But I'm going to cover most of this today with just air roll left, just to make it, just to simplify it a little bit. So the reason why I brought you guys to this map is because you want to learn how to maneuver in the air with boost. And a good way to practice that is to do figure eights around this, using just first doing what's comfortable, getting yourself used to doing directional air roll movements and turns and spins, and just keeping your momentum and trying to, don't really want to be holding boost the entire time, but you want to keep like the same height most of the time here. And you just want to keep doing figure eights, whatever's comfortable for you, spinning, non-spinning, whatever. That's a good way to practice to get you comfortable just maneuvering your car in the air with boost. It's going to be hard to do, right? You're not going to be used to doing a turn like this, right? This is not something that you're going to be used to right away because your natural instinct with this game, if you push left, you're going to go to the left like this. But if you're upside down, you push left, you're gonna go to the right. It's intuitive, but at the same time it's also not, because you have to get used to how your car is facing different directions. Pushing forward this time dips your nose forward, pushing forward this way dips it backwards and pushes the other way. That's the first thing you want to do to get somewhat comfortable with aerial control. The next is you actually want to do this without air roll at all. You want to try practicing flying around this thing without using air roll at all. No directional air roll, no nothing. And get comfortable maneuvering your car through this space. I'm not even that good at this yet. I still have stuff to work on. But yeah, you want to do that. You want to work on like feathering your boost, controlling how much boost you're using, and keeping a constant speed. You don't really need to be going supersonic. You just need to get a constant speed and kind of focus on floating there. That's definitely a key. The next one is while air rolling the entire time. So not stopping air rolling at all, and getting used to doing that. And you still want to keep doing these figure eights the whole time as well. Sometimes it's boring, right? But it does feel really cool when you successfully do it, right? Once you get the hang of it and you're successfully doing it, you'll feel pretty cool and it feels nice. Yeah, it kind of sucks to be training in this game sometimes. Sometimes you want to go just fly around and hit the ball in game, but in order to get better at Rocket League, you kind of have to put in the time in training. It's the same thing with like any sport. If you want to get good at a sport, You need to spend time in the gym. Like if you're playing basketball, you need to be, you know, shooting hoops by yourself, practicing, getting comfortable doing that. And you just got to put the time in, right? Well, next you want to be doing it while boosting the entire time. This one is still pretty challenging for me too. But the same rule is there. You want to, whoops, I let go of boost. You want to get used to uncomfortable situations where you're, whoops, I messed up. Turning your car like upside down and spinning it to kill the momentum, right? So you don't hit the ceiling. This one's definitely one of the more challenging ones to do figure eights while holding boost the whole time. This one will take a while to build up to. I would do this after you're comfortable with all of the other ones. This is like one of the last ones you should do. But yeah, those are the ways just to practice your aerial control and get comfortable. You do this here on pillars, or you of course can do rings. Lethamir's Giant Rings map on Bacchus mod. You can have the workshop map downloader, and you can do this. But yeah, the reason I showed that one first is just for the console people that can't do it, can't do rings. And the same rule kind of applies for this, although this one you probably want to do a little bit faster. You want to get comfortable trying to get up to supersonic and be quicker. It's definitely more beneficial in the long run to do this as fast as you can. But I would also focus on just general control at first when you're learning it. And then once you're comfortable with general control, then you can focus more on getting to supersonic. But it really is about just putting in the time, putting in the practice. Primarily want to focus on, when you're learning air roll left, you want to focus on what I like to call motions. So I'm using air roll left to showcase that. The motions are each of the, I guess there's technically 8 total directions you can push, but we'll just focus on 4 of them, which is arrow left and forward, arrow left and left, arrow left and right, and arrow left and down. You want to learn what each of these does and when you should do them. By practicing, honestly, just using one of them at a time. So what one spin, like, so this is arrow left and to the right, which is the tornado spin. That's going to be the most common one you're going to be using. That and then arrow left and to the left are the most useful ones you're going to do. The forward one is pretty useful as well. But yeah, and then of course you would reverse it for arrow right. It'd be arrow right and to the left for the tornado spin, and then arrow right and to the right for the other one. The reason why you want to learn these motions and what they do when you're boosting is because you need to use these specific ones to recover a certain way. So, like, let's say your car is facing like this and you're like, oh shoot, I'm awkward. You need to get your car turned around, facing the way you want to go comfortably, and you'll learn that by practicing that. Sometimes you can be, like, you're facing like this, you need to get your car facing forward, right? If you're facing awkwardly sideways, you need to face forward. You have to learn how to do that and practice that, because when your car is in uncomfortable positions, you need to, you know, get comfortable. And these motions will help you build that muscle memory to get you back into a comfortable position. Most comfortable position is this, right? Is going to be how you're in control of your car most of the time. But you want to be able to get to that position as efficiently as possible by using those motions. And the reason why you do this is to really be able to manipulate your car to get weird touches. Yeah, being straight up and down is good like this, but let's say you are trying to read a shot and you're trying to knock it off the backboard in. You actually want to be like this to knock it in, right, off the backboard, because you want to hit it with the top of your car and get power. So you need to be able to get to this position effectively, as well as recover from that position. And I'll showcase that more in some training packs as we go on. Another important thing to focus on is obviously your boost management. How much boost you need to use to get your car doing what you want it to do. And you'll see that my boost button is circle, and how I'm pressing it and how I'm feathering it to keep the height the whole time when I'm doing stuff like this. And you'll get a feel for it the more you do it. But boost management is important for aerial stuff, because you do need to be able to go fast to stuff, right? You need to be able to take off and get supersonic. but you also need to be able to, you know, turn, right? You need to be able to turn and face the way you want to go, and maintain control of your car the entire time. And that will come the more you practice, the more boost you control yourself using, right? You feather your boost, you manage your boost rather than just holding it the entire time. But that holding it the entire time training that I was showing you earlier, where you are doing the figure 8 around the pillars and doing and holding boost the whole time, what you will learn from that is more tight control and precise movements while under pressure, because sometimes you will need to use a boost to adjust quickly in the air to, you know, make a 50-50 or to block the opponent or to, you know, dribble it around them in the air or something. You do need that skill, but that comes later. You want to really focus on control and feathering and management first is definitely the most important part. So we're now going to move on to aerial touches, and we're going to do this with a training pack that I like a lot. We'll do it Air Dribble Mastery. I really like this training pack because it kind of focuses on setting up a aerial controlled touch, which is hugely important for setting up like multi-touch air dribbles on a ball that's kind of already in the air. And it's really, really good for doing that, or a ball that's already moving. I specifically use the first shot to practice like stuff with car recoil. So this training pack is really good for getting used to taking off for a ball that's kind of above you. You definitely need to learn a fast aerial, but I'm not going to go over that in this video. We're just gonna do it. This will just help with general control in the air, and the reason why it's so good is because you need to get multiple touches on this ball in the air. I'm just going to do a regular air dribble instead of my usual fancy stuff. And it's good because it helps you practice the car recoil, how your car bounces off of the ball. And that's hugely, hugely important for maintaining control in the air. What you'll notice and what you'll start to get a feel for when you do this training pack and you practice going up for this is that you should stop moving your car, like spinning it, when you're about to make contact. And as soon as you make contact, correct whatever happens. But you'll also notice too that the closer you get to the ball without going fast, if you match the speed of the ball and stay close to it, you'll actually, your car won't recoil as much. If you go flying into this and hit it hard, like see how my car just kind of recoils off of it, like it's not moving much, but it is moving some, right? See how it turns to the left there a little bit? I actually let off the joystick, I think. Yeah, I let off the joystick to demonstrate it kind of points back now. When you minimize that and get close to it and match the speed, that recoil won't happen, that recoil won't be as strong the closer you are to the ball, right? And the more you're matching that speed. So that's another thing to practice for aerial touches. You do need to practice spinning with this a little bit. I would say at first don't. Just practice doing like a pencil air dribble like this and getting comfortable with this, because if you can do that, that's really dangerous in a game, what I just did. It's probably not going to work at higher levels. You're probably going to have to go for like a reset and maintain control that way, because you need to fake multiple options, right? But at lower levels, you won't need to worry about that. You can just go for an air dribble like that, and it will be dangerous. So definitely practice how to do that. But the reason why you should be spinning is you want to be faking multiple options too. Like you need to fake like a reset so the opponent can't really read what you're doing, right? And it definitely will come with time, being able to spin and maintain that control. But a little trick that I found that really, really helps me for the spinning is I basically stop pressing the joystick at all when I'm about to make contact, and then I start pressing it again afterwards to maneuver my car in a way that lets me keep control. So stop moving it when I'm about to make contact, and then afterwards maneuver my car to maintain the control. Any sort of like adjustment that my car made off of contact, I make the adjustment afterwards to correct myself. So that's that for now. This is more for like air dribble controlled touches. and just touches you can follow up in the air. This whole training pack has a bunch of shots that are like this, right? It's sort of an air dribble setup. But the reason why this training pack is so good is because it forces you to do it in situations that you're going to find in game, right? And you can practice many different types of things from these setups. You can practice just regular air dribbles, you know, but you can also practice resets and other different types of control. Double taps are an option, you know, like practicing stuff like that. Oh, that's supposed to be a double tap. Hold on. And it gives you so many options for what you can practice, right? And that's why this is so good. I primarily use this first one to practice control touch and do a reset. This is what I really like doing. Getting one soft touch to myself, getting a reset, and then going for like a musty or just a regular flip reset, or even sometimes going off the ceiling. But it's just something I like practicing because I struggle going off the ceiling, so I've been trying to work on it. That's this pack. Another really good pack to practice your aerial adjustments and working on powerful touches especially is, let's see, Double Tap Playground is really good. I really like this for this is specifically helps you practice when the ball is kind of moving away from you and how to get a controlled powerful touch. It's very important when you're going for these powerful touches that you hit it with the nose, with the front of your car, or with the corners. However, when you're going for these powerful touches, the recoil is going to be much stronger. So you really, really want to make sure you're either, if you're holding a direction when you make contact, you either continue that direction, right? So if I'm turning like this, I want to continue moving like that after I make contact to correct myself that way. Or you let go of it completely and then readjust afterwards. The readjusting afterwards is a little bit harder because your car is going to bounce so much that you really have to pay attention to how it's moving. So if you see what I mean right here, so I'm going to make a hard touch here. So I see how my car like kind of had that like spin at the end. That was because I had to make the readjustment, right? And of course I'm messing this up on my first few attempts. Oh my gosh, this is rough. There we go, better. Get comfortable with the recoil. I'm not moving too much because I'm making solid contact. When you make solid contact, see how it turns though there a little bit at the end, like it kind of backed out like this and turned to the side. That kind of recoil you're going to have to learn how to manage, and the only way you can do that is by practicing training packs like these, because you're going to get used to how your car is going to hit the ball when it's moving, right? There's other training packs that are really good for stuff like that, which is there's power aerials. This is a good one to practice just like using your flip and doing that, but you can also do this by fast aerialing for these two and trying to make solid contact on that. So here's a training pack for that. And then this is another good one. You have to take shots off of like a pass. This is like good for redirects and powerful touches. This is the best one in my opinion. We'll actually showcase this one. This one's the best one to learn how to redirect the ball and get powerful, consistent hits, like forward off the front of your car, right? This one's huge. I'm struggling. There we go. But this one's really good just to help you get a better understanding of how you need to be flying at the ball to make contact, right? And you're also flying at it from the side here. See, you're not straight on, so that's another important thing. You kind of it does suck sometimes to talk about like aerial control as something that you just have to really just practice, but you do. You have to just get comfortable being in these situations and making the touches you want to make, right? You need to maneuver your car with that basic aerial control I was talking about before, but you need to make sure you're touching it with the right part of the car when you're doing that. So that's why Double Tap Playground I think is the best one to help you get used to it, because it forces you to realize which part of the car you're touching the ball with here, so you can get an effective double tap, right? And I'm not even getting the most effective double tap I can be here. There we go, that's better. You really need to make sure you're getting solid contact both times, right? It's solid contact off of the first touch here, and then not only that, but it's the second touch too. Both of your touches need to be with solid, powerful contact. and it needs to be with the top or corners of your car, and not so much with your wheels, because you're not going to get as much power. And of course, you know, not everybody's perfect at this. Like, I'm still trying to learn and improve and get better with these touches myself. Here we go. This is not the greatest setup though. Still got it. If you notice too, that upside down position that I was showcasing before, where I'm like this to shoot it, is hugely important, because you want to be shooting it with the top of your car so you get more power. So what we've talked about so far, what we've learned, the control necessary to get to where you want to get, right? That's priority number one. Priority number two, learning how your car reacts depending on where you touch it, on the ball, right? You want to generally try to get touches with the front of your car, the corners, the nose, for control, powerful touches. There are some times where you want to touch it with your wheels, like if you're trying to keep it close, like if you jump for a ball and you need to like catch it, you need to jump, you know. I'll try to actually showcase it right here. It's a little difficult if I do something like that, right? That's something you will need to practice, but honestly, I wouldn't even worry about that for a while. I just worry about hitting the ball hard before you do stuff like that. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Powerful touches, top, front, corners of your car for powerful touches, for consistent touches. Learning to manage recoil after that, right? Boost management and recoil off of the touches. Again, takes time, kind of sucks. I hate saying that, but it's true. And then yeah, I guess we could go over air dribbles next. We'll go to this training pack right here for air dribbles. This is like a beginner's practice pack for this, so this is a really good one to work on. You don't have to worry about the setup or anything. You just worry about controlling it in the air. Taking everything that we've learned here, you can actually, if you do this properly, you can actually throw the car recoil practice thing out of the window. Car recoil only applies when you are making contact with a ball that is far away from you and you're going at it hard. So when you're flying at a ball fast and you make contact, your recoil is something that's going to happen, right? But when you do an air dribble and you get control of the ball, when you keep it close, that recoil actually becomes non-existent. So once you get right here and you stay close to it, you actually don't have to worry about recoil. Your car isn't going to move like at all when you make contact with your nose, right? So you can actually just stay close to it and just feather your boost and try to just match the speed and make little tiny adjustments to maintain control. So that's the secret of air dribbling, is making very small adjustments and managing your boost to fly at the speed of the ball. It's about feathering and staying close so you match the speed, and then you don't actually have to do that many adjustments, right? And the higher up you get, the more you can start to get control and hold your boost, right? To stay behind it, hit it higher, and then you can go for more fancy things like double taps, right? So first, obviously, you just need to practice getting close, right? And doing that. You don't even have to worry about spinning when you're first learning this. I didn't. I just learned initially how to do this off this wall, doing this, and then just trying to dribble this way. All right? All you need to do is figure out how to do that. Later down the line, you will need to learn it with spins, but for now, you'll learn how much you need to move the joystick by doing the basic air dribble control, and then from there, you'll be able to improve it later down the line. You can go for resets and do cool, crazy shit like that. But like I said, that's just going to take time. This training pack is really, really good for air dribbles. You'll eventually need to practice this without the setup, right? This gives you the setup for free. You will eventually need to learn how to do this in free play without the setup. You need to make the setup happen, right? So the reason for that training pack is to get you comfortable understanding how to position your car off of the wall, getting underneath it, getting at it like a 45-degree angle with the ball, right? So the ball here, you're kind of like, you're like here, and you want to be boosting at it that way. Because you're gonna have so much more control over it when you do that, right? So I get here, feather my boost at that angle, and I can do so much, right? There's so many things I can do. I can hold my boost once I'm glued to it because I stay matching the speed, right? Or I can stop boosting, right? I can even, right? I can go up like this, stop boosting, let it kind of fall to me, stay behind it, right? I have so many different options for what I can do off of the setup, right? Once I get this control, and that's the goal. The end goal is to be able to do whatever you want from the control, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to cover in this for air dribbles. I'm covering a lot in this whole video, a lot of stuff to practice, a lot of stuff to think about. But the main key takeaway I would have from all of this, try to simplify everything, right? We talked about those motions in the beginning. You want to simplify when you need to do those motions, and otherwise just fly like this, right? Just get comfortable flying like this first, and try to use those motions to get you facing the way you want to go, right? And the reason why you want to practice these motions and simplify it is because you want to do as little movement in the air as possible to turn and face the way you want to face and make the contact you want to make on the ball. Don't overthink it. Don't overspin when you're in game, right? You can overspin in training. You can overspin when you're doing training packs, when you're in free play, whatever. Overspin doing that. When you're in game, don't overspin. Simplify. Face the way you want to face to get the touch you want. That's that, really. I don't really have much else to cover. Like I said, I do offer personalized coaching and training, so if you guys are interested, check that out. And if you have any questions or anything, leave some comments. Anything you want me to go over more in depth, or maybe I can just answer your comment directly and just give you some advice on that. But if you want more personalized, like individual coaching, it's definitely a lot easier for me to do this one-on-one with you specifically to help you benefit and grow and learn what you're doing and how to make the adjustment to improve. And it's definitely a lot easier for me to do that through my Fiverr, so check that out if you can. I hope this helped. I can break this down a little bit more simply if you guys are interested. Just leave a comment, and I'll get to it, and I'll try to simplify it for you guys. But yeah, catch you guys later.